In today's tutorial, we're gonna learn how to add structure, contrast, and details to your portrait images using the powerful structure tool in Aperty. Now, before we move into the application, let's have a look at the actual definition of the structure tool. The structure tool in Aperty is designed to precisely enhance the texture and clarity of your portrait photos. Unlike traditional sharpening tools that can affect the entire image, the structure tool selectively boosts the clarity and contrast in specific areas, focusing on the parts that need it the most, while keeping the softer areas like skin smooth and natural. This selective approach allows for enhanced midtones and details, making facial features and other textures stand out without introducing unwanted noise. Moving into Aperty, where right now we are in the editing module. We are looking at the sample file for this lesson, and here comes a reminder that if you want to follow me along on your own computer, just jump into the description of this video, follow the link there, and download it now. Once you have it ready, import it into the application and we can start. So to use the structure tool, we need to turn our attention towards the editing toolbar, where we're going to look for the icon with the 3 sliders on it. When you find it, click on it, and that will open the essential section of the main toolbar. Here there is number of tools, and we will create tutorials for all of them, but today we're going to be focusing on the structure tool. Now, talking about this actual image, I have already applied some basic development using the Develop Raw tool. However, it was nothing complicated. I adjusted the white balance, applied a little bit of highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. Now we can close this and let's focus on the structure tool. Now, to open the tool, you can click on the little triangle or the actual name of the tool. Once we open it, for the structure tool itself, we only have 2 controllers, the amount and the boost. Now, talking about sliders, you can simply shift them left or right. Once you adjust them, to reset them back to 0 or its original value, simply double click on them, or you can double click on the name of the slider. Another thing I want to point, when you increase the slider, you will notice 2 new icons in the top right corner of the tool. One allows you to see before and after for this specific image. Now, the difference between this eye icon and the icon at the bottom is that this eye icon will show you the before and after for all your edits. So if you just want to see specific view of the before and after for the tool you're working on, just use the icon here. Additionally, next to it, we have this little half circle arrow, and when you click on that, that will reset the adjustment in this specific tool. So now we know what are the additional options. So let's have a look at the controllers. So we have the amount slider. When we take the slider and shift it towards right, you will notice that the clarity and details will increase. So when we shift it all the way to 100, you can see how much the clarity and details are defined, how we have more contrast, and how everything stands out. Now, when we take the slider and shift it the other way around, exactly the opposite is going to happen. We will actually create very soft, dreamy look. And the reason is that we are actually removing the clarity and sharpness and just creating a very nice look, which, for example, specifically for a wedding photo, can work quite well. Now let's reset this. Maybe let's actually increase it somewhere around 50. And let's talk about the boost option. The boost slider or the boost controller allows us to add even more of that specific effect. So if I go all the way to 100, and that's not enough structure, what I can do, I can boost it even further, adding even more contrast and clarity. Now, obviously, this looks way too over-processed and it doesn't look very nice, but at least you know that the option is here if you're looking for even more effect. Now, interesting fact here, if I reset the boost and shift the slider the other way around, so I get this dreamy effect, the boost will then push that specific effect as well. So it will add even more dreamy look. So that's for the boost. Now, finally, before we finish, let's have a look how we would use the structure tool in combination with masking. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna close this and we're gonna open the masking option in the top right corner of the toolbar. It looks like a little square with the frame around it. So let's click on that. Now, let's say that we wanna add glow around the dress, and then we're gonna make the rest of the image just a little bit more structured. We're just gonna add more contrast, clarity, and details. So first, let's apply the structure to the image. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on the little plus sign, and basically we're just gonna click on brush. Once we do that, we can just increase the size, and let's say that we're gonna be strength on 100, softness you can leave on 100, and all I want you to do at this moment is just to make one click and basically just cover the image. Basically just creating mask across the entire photo. Once we're done with that, we can then click on save, and that will create a new mask in our masking panel. So we have it here. And what we can do, we can click on the three dots and here select rename. So what we're gonna call this is extra clarity, or actually in this case, extra structure. Once happy, hit enter, and we simply gonna make sure that we have this mask selected, then navigate back to our editing toolbar, open the structure tool and increase the amount. Now, just like that, we are adding a little bit of extra structure to the entire image. However, what if we would like to remove it from the people? Now, there are a number of ways to do this. However, for this tutorial, I'm gonna show you two. First, a simple use of brush. Now, let's navigate back to the masking, our extra structure mask, where we're gonna click on the three dots one more time. Here we have an option to add, so to add more elements to our mask, or subtract, remove. Well, once we're in a subtract, as we wanna remove the people, let's go for the brush. Once we select it, simple brush window will open, where we can adjust the size, softness, and strength. Let's keep the strength on 100, softness on 100, and with the size, well, we'll see. First, we're gonna zoom in, and let's say that we're gonna remove from the mask the room. Now, to do that, while we have the brush selected, we need to use spacebar on our keyboard to move around, and we can just very quickly start to brush and brush away very manually the actual person. Now, this is not the best technique, but I want you to see it anyway. Now, you can take your time removing the person and make the selection perfect. However, for this example, I think it will be more than enough. So let's just make sure that we select all the different parts. There is maybe just few adjustments here and here. As I say one more time, if you want to make perfect adjustment or make perfect mask, take your time, definitely. But for this, I think this will be perfect. So just ahead, again, you can zoom in even further, take your time and apply extra selection. So that's about this. We can zoom back out, navigate back to our brush where we're gonna click on save. Once you save this specific selection, you can notice that on the preview of the mask, you can see that black part. And that's basically the area that is not selected. You can also see that when I hover over the mask, we see the preview of the mask, which is highlighted with a red overlay. So now we have everything selected except the groom. But what about selecting the bride? Well, for this, we can use a faster option, which is also inside of the mask option. We're gonna again click on the three dots, go into subtract, and this time select the persons. Now the application takes few seconds, scan the image, and remove the person for us. You can already see it on the preview. And now, when I hover over the mask, you can see that the bride is also selected. Or actually unselected, because right now we have masked everything except the two people. And that's what we want to do. We want to have a structure everywhere, other than on the bride and groom. Now to finish it off, I wanted to add a little bit of glow to the bride dress and a little bit around her. Well, how are we gonna do this? Back to masking, again click on the plus sign and create another mask by clicking on brush. Again, we have the brush option selected. Let's make the brush a little bit bigger with the strength. Let's go for 60 and keep the softness on 100. Once we have the brush selected, let's go on the image and just start to brush around the bride and around her dress, just creating nice sort of glow mask around her and around the dress. So I think something like this looks good. If we want, we can let go the mouse and then start painting again, which will add another layer of the effect. So now we have the mask prepared. Now you already know what to do. What we need to do is to click on Save. Make sure we have the new mask selected. Again, navigate into the Essentials, but we already here, into the structure. And this time, instead of going with the amount up, we actually gonna go down, which will create that nice glow effect around the dress and around the bride. Let's quickly check the before and after. And don't forget that if this is not enough, you can always increase the boost and add even more dreamy effect to that specific area you have selected. So this is it with masking, and this is it with the structure tool. So one more time, to use the structure tool, you need to navigate into the essential section of the main toolbar using the 3 sliders icon. Here, open the tool and use the amount slider to add or remove the structure, details, and contrast from your photo. Additionally, to get an extra boost, you can use the boost controller to add even more of the structure effect to your image. Now, before we're going to finish, just a quick reminder that this tutorial is powered by our brand new Professional Portrait LUT bundle. This brand new bundle is focusing on portrait editing, and it will allow you to use the 170 expertly crafted LUTs to quickly and easily adjust your portrait photos. Now, this bundle is of course compatible with the Aperty software, but you can also use it with Luminar Neo, Lightroom Classic, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Code, and so much more. Now, to get the best possible price for the Professional Portrait LUT bundle, simply follow the link in the description of this video. And to find out more about it, head to our website cleverphotographer.com. And that's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like and share it. And if you have any question about today's topic or about Aperty, then write it in the comment section under this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss on any of our future content focusing on Aperty and Luminar Neo. For today, my name is Jakub and I can't wait to see you in the next video.